G'day, welcome to A Farrier's Life. Why am I doing this? The main reason I'm doing this is simply because there's fewer and fewer of us farriers around. Last year I got into a bit of trouble with my back and had to have a few months where I could barely do the job at all, and I just managed to scrape by. I had to get rid of a lot of horses off my round. At the time I was maintaining about 200 horses, just over 200 horses. About 70% of them, I'd say 60-70% of them were unshod. They were just barefoot horses, and then the rest of them required some form of shoeing, front shoes or full sets of shoes. And what the cycle is of a farrier is, it's anything from a 4 to an 8 week cycle. A horse needs to be seen by a farrier, or it needs someone to be able to provide some thorough hoof care, at least on a 6 week basis, no longer than an 8 week basis. As the hoof grows, the shoe needs to be replaced, because the hoof grows in length. That length needs to be taken off and the shoe reapplied. If they're going barefoot, the hoof is growing, and if it's not in a type of work or in a type of environment under a certain type of activity where that hoof's able to naturally wear off itself, it gets really long and bends and splits, and can lead to all kinds of infections and eventual lameness, and the horse sort of suffers. So in a domestic situation, we really need to provide hoof care, because the animals living in the conditions in the environment and the work they're doing can't provide their own hoof care. So about 200 horses every 6 to 8 weeks, so every couple of months, go through 200 horses, and by the time you've done that, you're back to the beginning again. The first horse needs his feet doing, and around and around and around you go. So I think most farriers that I've come across can manage between 150 and 250 horses, 250 at their best. That's when they're full of energy, that's when they're at the top of their game. That's about as the maximum you can maintain. It's a very physically demanding job. You have to drive a lot between different properties. The farrier is someone that goes to the horses now, as opposed to having a workshop in town in the olden days where all the horses used to come through and used to do them. It's like a mechanics. We're having to go from place to place. So yeah, I'm doing this because last year I experienced an injury in my back, had to reduce my horse numbers, and I had to let some horses go, and then those horse owners are still struggling a year later to find someone else to do the job. And I know, because I've been back to a few of these people and a few of their horses, and their feet are in terrible condition now, and it's sort of sad, and upsets me a bit that that's the way things are. But you have to I've had to learn to sort of let all that go. I can only do as much as I can do. So the main reason for all this education, and the main reason why farriers and barefoot trimmers are putting a lot of information out there online via YouTube and whatnot, is to try and help horse owners develop those skills where they can do at least the basic maintenance trim. They know what laminitis is and the dangers and how to avoid it. They know how to treat seedy toe and white line disease. They know how to handle horses' legs a little bit better, through some of the skills and ways that farriers learn to be able to make a horse comfortable for us to do that. They understand how to maybe pull a shoe if the shoe comes loose, so that the horse doesn't rip it off or end up standing on a toe clip and damaging themselves. They know how to clinch the nails down, so that if a shoe gets slightly loose, they can maybe tighten it back up to avoid it being pulled. All these different things which can be learnt by the horse owner are such valuable skills to help you and your horse sort of have a can save you a little bit of money if you can pull your own horse's shoes and give them a trim. You know, save yourself $50 to $100. Save the farrier having to come right out. You know, I think the future of a farrier is, from my experience, from the people I know, is you become a grumpy old man. You know, your elbows hurt, your wrists hurt, your back hurts. Then it's pouring down with rain. The person's property's just a boggy mud hole. You know, we deal with all these things. It's hot and sweaty or dusty and full of flies. You know, the horse is a pain. There's all kinds of reasons to become a grumpy old man in this job, and most of the farriers I know are a lot older than me. You know, they're 50, 60 years old, and there's quite a few in this area that have retired over the last 3-4 years. So I'm being flogged. I'm getting phone calls from here, there and everywhere, and I just simply can't do it. You know, simply can't do it. I've got the number of horses that I'm comfortable with now, without putting my back under too much strain and then ending up injured again. So I've found that that number that is good for me, and unfortunately everyone else has to sort of suck it up and find someone else to the best of their ability, which means their horses do go a lot longer without any hoof care. So that's the reason why I'm doing this, and I hope to ignite a bit of a passion about it, because to own 1 or 2 or 3 horses, it's not a huge job to keep their feet clean and tidy, but it is daunting and it is hard work to pick up feet and do a bit, but it doesn't have to be as complicated and as nightmarish as it seems. It doesn't have to be as complicated as it seems. You know, obviously the shoeing side of things, totally different story. You need professional help, but there's so much you can do as a horse owner for yourself and for your horses, which I think once you get the buzz for it, and once you get into it, you'll be well proud of yourself, you know, and you'll feel so much better, and much more confident, and proud of what you managed to accomplish. So it's the process I went through, process everyone goes through that tries to attempt to do this. And yeah, let's see where these videos go, and I hope that, you know, you do learn something from it. And if you've got any questions, put it in the comments, because they're the questions I can answer. You know, if you've got questions, I can answer them. Make a short video, as short as I possibly can, without rambling on, to maybe answer that question and then illuminate you to what it is that you're wondering about. See ya.